So you want to step into the quantum version of you, the one who has everything, all of the desires, everything that you already want, things that you know you are deserving of and that you are entitled to. In order to step into the quantum version of you, you first have to acknowledge where you are currently in your present reality. So before you shift into the future version of yourself, you have to understand that there's a limited version of you, and then there is the quantum future version of yourself. So the limited version of you is the one that focuses only on the physical. Your physical reality presents itself based on your five senses, which are to touch, to see, to smell, to hear, and to feel. Less than 1% of your reality is created based on your five senses. So a lot of what you're seeing right now in your physical is not reality. It's not the entire universe. It's not everything happening. So your limited understanding can only be met with, oh, this is the logical, this is the physical, this is what I see in front of me right now, this is what I hear, this is what I understand. So we have a limited version of ourselves that relies on the physical reality. Now, there's also the mental side, which bridges the gap between the mental and the spiritual. The mental side is that next level up. If you want to get to level 2, you have to start thinking more with your subconscious mind. So you have to be able to tap into, okay, there are other realities, right? There are other universes. There are other versions of myself. If you've ever seen Marvel movies, you already know that they play on the multiverse a lot. Oh, in this multiverse, Spider-Man was this guy. And in this multiverse, this was this Spider-Man. And they tied it all together lovely with a neat bow. Well, guess what? That is true. There are other multiverses and other versions of you that are doing other activities right now. Yes, scary, right? Trippy. I was tripped out because I was actually able to, during my meditation time, transcend dimensions. And I started being able to see other versions of myself. I even got a chance to speak to another version of myself, more than one version of myself. How can I tap into future me? Well, the future version of yourself, or the quantum you, is already there. So what would the quantum version of you say to yourself? What would future you say, who has no limitations, is not limited by the physical, but by the spiritual, which is, of course, God. Like, highest form of the spiritual is God, all-knowing, all-powerful, like knowing everything, the source, the infinite. So we know in part, we see in part, we hear in part, we understand in part. So in order to tap into the spiritual, not only should you be meditating every day and be in stillness, but you also have to start tapping into the future version of you. What would the future version of me do in this situation? What would the future version of me say in this situation? Would the future me say yes to this? Would the future me say no to this? And a very easy prompt and homework I have for you is to write a letter from your future self, who already has all the things, who says, hey, we made it, we did this, we did that, we accomplished this, we did that. And what advice would you give to yourself? Keep doing what? What are the things that you get to have? What are the things you get to experience? What are the things you get to do now? And then email that letter to yourself and read it every day or every other day. Because then you'll be reminded of, oh, future me, who already has this thing that I want, said, if I just keep doing this, I will get there. And you will. It's a good reminder. So make decisions as if your future self is already here. A lot of us think future me is so far away. Not really. Future you is already inside of you. So you can tap in at any moment into the you from the future in another multiverse. And I hope that's not confusing, but let me know if you have any questions in the comments for sure. I think tapping into the future you is the one who is confident, the one who is wealthy, the one who is abundant, the one who is giving, the one who is walking in their purpose, the one who is aligned, the one who says no to things that don't work, yes to things that do work, the one who is assertive. Future version of you already has advice to give you. So tap into that. Write letters from the you who has it all. And you're going to be able to review those and say, wow, I get to have this, so I can move like this now. Move like you already have $1 million in your bank account. Would you show up on social media saying, all right, get this offer, it's coming? No, you wouldn't care. You would show up, you would be happy, you would be in your best energy, and you would show up because you wanted to. And you would speak from your heart and have joy. You wouldn't be begging people for $1 or jumping in people's DMs trying to get them to buy your offer. The millionaire version of you, the wealthy version of you, the calm version of you. What does that person do every day? Do they meditate every day? Do they do yoga? Do they go out for walks? Who is this person? The fittest version of you. You can step into that version of you right freaking now. You can say no to things that are not aligned and yes to things that are. I'll tell you about something that I turned down. I turned down this quote unquote opportunity where someone was offering me a speaking engagement and they were going to pay me and do XYZ. At the end of the day, I said no to the opportunity because it did not feel aligned with me. The person wanted to pay me after the event, and that was just a non-negotiable for me. I said, no, I want to be paid immediately, and I believe I'm deserving of payment before I even speak on a stage or before I even virtually speak at this virtual event. Well, I turned down that opportunity, and come to find out, literally 3 days later, not even 3, I think it was 4 days later, someone DMs me, sends me a message on Instagram, says, I love your content. I've been following you for years. And girl, I would love for you to teach in my mastermind. And so I got to speak to her group. She paid me in advance early, like 2 weeks before I even got an opportunity to speak to these amazing social media managers. But not only did she pay me, but she and all of the students said I did an incredible job. They loved what I had to share. They were sharing testimonials on their stories. They were open about it. I was able to repost it on my stories on Instagram. I was able to add it to a highlight section, of course, with other reviews from my clients. So again, it was such a great experience that I couldn't have asked for a better experience. And honestly, if I had said yes to another opportunity, would that have come? Understand that new opportunities are always presenting themselves, and that the future version of you would say no to a lot of the things that you're saying yes to, would set boundaries where you have not, would stand up for themselves in ways you have not, would be calm in situations instead of chaotic in situations where you wouldn't have. Remember, don't be desperate for an opportunity. Be willing to say no, be willing to say yes, choose yourself first. The infinite, unlimited quantum version of you is very powerful and understands the power and authority that you actually have. So hold on to that, stand on that, and know that you can easily tap into the future you. And if you're someone who's like, well, I need something practical, like I told you before, write that letter from yourself from the future, read it often as you need to remind yourself of who you are. Another thing I did was I created a playlist of songs that built up my confidence, that make me feel the best. Create a playlist, like a badass CEO playlist, or a good playlist that you love the music, it makes you feel confident, it makes you feel good, it ignites that energy in you. Put that on before you even start your day. Put that on before you do your workout. I have a playlist, and there's a particular song I'll play 3 times while I'm doing my 3 sets of burpees, of my side bends, and all the things that I do. I have things that motivate and push me to be the best version of myself, because future me is going to thank me and be like, girl, yeah, we did it. We made it. And I read that letter from myself often. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because I have more videos like this coming soon, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. You first have to acknowledge where you at. Where you at? Where you at? Write a letter from the future. You're so cute over there falling asleep. You're so cute. Anyway, yes.